Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sean Harvey. If you're new here, and today I'm very excited for you because what I'm going to share with you today is going to transform your life forever. Okay? Well, it transformed my life forever. Once I fully understood what this meant, it actually empowered me and it allowed me to transform what I thought, right, happened to me when something bad happened to me, because you know that every one of us have experienced something bad. And as some of you know, that I do teach jujitsu, and I also teach children how to create a winning mindset. And also, bullying goes on in the world, not just in the school system. And so, if you have experienced bullying when you were a child, or if your child has experienced bullying, this is how you can get over those thoughts that are lowering your confidence, lowering your self esteem, and basically is destroying your life. Okay? So, I want to give you a winning mindset that empowers you and allows you to become a superstar in the world. Okay? So one of the biggest concept that I learned, and it took me many, many years. I learned this many, 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 many years ago. Okay. And that is that life has no meaning. Now I know some of you are saying, well, yes, it does have meaning because I put meaning to stuff, but life doesn't have a meaning. And I'll prove it to you. If I told you to point to something in the room, right, and that is a meaning, find it. Point to meaning, right? Whatever you point to that's around you, it won't have the name meaning. Okay, so if you're outside, you'll probably point to a tree, or you could point to a car, or you can point to a telephone pole, or whatever is around you. But it won't. But a telephone pole is not called meaning. It's called a telephone pole. A car is called a car. It's not called meaning. Okay. Now, if you're inside, then whatever you find in your house or in your office or wherever you are, it doesn't nothing in your place. The name is meaning. If you point to a desk, it's called a desk. It's not called meaning. So what you're going to understand, what I want you to understand, is that meaning only lives in your mind. It's just like focus. Okay, focus only lives in your mind. It doesn't live anywhere else. Focus is not in the world, just like meaning is not in the world. So there are words that we use every day that doesn't exist in the world. Now, why is this such an important thing for you? Because all the negative events that happen to you that you wish never happened to you put a meaning to it. And that meaning, listen to me, became your character. And your character is how you interacted with other people. Okay. So let that silence settle in on you. You actually created your character. And you created your character by putting a meaning to something that happened to you that you wish never happened to you. And you believe it to be absolutely true. And so, because you believe it to be absolutely true, you became that person. You started to take the action of that character. So, this is how you can overcome a negative way of thinking. Is you have to realize that life has no meaning, that you actually put the meaning to it. You just didn't know that. You wasn't aware of it. So one of the biggest things I've learned in my travels of learning how to develop a winning mindset is awareness. Most people think that you have to be super intelligent, right? I mean, that can help, but there are a lot of things that you may not be aware of. And because you're not aware of it, then you just can't take action on it. So at this moment, I'm making you aware that life has no meaning, that we put meaning to it. Okay, so I'll give you another example. If 10 people saw a particular event all at the same time, I can guarantee you that not all 10 will put the same meaning to it, right? Now you may get some that may put a similar meaning, but their perception of it would probably be different. You know, it's like the glass half full or the glass half empty, right? It just depends on how you're looking at it. It's two different meanings. Okay, some people have been mentally programmed to look at things from the negative side, and some people have been focused on the positive side. So it just depends on your mental programming. So what you have to understand is that if you've been through a bullying situation, and there are different types of bullying, you got a physical, verbal, relational, and cyberbullying. So there's different forms of bullying. So just making you aware of that, right? So if you have experienced it as an adult, you know you may experience some bullying as an adult. You may have experienced bullying as a child, and then you put a meaning to that, and that meaning took away your power and took away the things that you would have done because you could be living a different life if you put a different meaning to your life, right? You wouldn't be using words that, or I can't do that, or I'm not good enough for that, or I wasn't meant to do that. Those are all meanings that you're putting to that are absolutely not true, right? What you have to understand is that you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to if you're willing to work for it. And what I find when I train with my students is that sometimes if they don't get something the first time, they get they get dejected. It's like they feel bad about themselves because they're so used to putting a negative meaning to something that they didn't get the first time. Well, let me tell you something. In order for you to get really good at something, you're going to have to practice it for hours, years. It's going to take time. It doesn't. You're not going to get good at something just because you feel like, well, I'm going to get up and I'm going to, like me doing this video. You're not going to be able to do a video the first time and be able to flow out of your mind. The words come out of you. That's not going to happen. You have to practice, 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 practice. So when you make a mistake, the key is what meaning do you put to it. Now, let's say, for instance, you put a negative meaning to something. Okay, right? And something happened that you wish didn't happen, and you put a meaning to it. Just don't believe that meaning to be true. You got to check yourself and say, hold on a sec, that's not true. I'm only looking at it from one point of view. But someone else would probably say that the reason why you didn't get it the first time is because you're still learning how to do it. So the more you do it, the more you will learn how to do it right and not how to do it wrong. It just depends on the meaning you put to it. So I'm really hoping that you are picking up what I'm putting down and you're starting to realize that you actually created yourself. So when I tell people, they can learn jujitsu at any age, yes, you can. Right? Now, you may not get the techniques as soon as you do it, and I'm never going to say it's not going to be a challenge, but you have to learn to develop your mind. And when you develop your mind, you develop your skills. And then when you develop your skills, you know how to use your tools better. Okay, but you gotta break out of this thing about that you're not good enough, because that's not true, right? But that's the meaning that you put to it, and because you put that meaning to it, you created your character and you started to live your life based on that meaning. So I really hope that you got something from the message. And when I really learned this, because it took me many years to fully understand it, and quite frankly, it's very difficult to deprogram your mind from the meanings that you really believe to be true about yourself. But it is what it is, right? So remember, life has no meaning because you can't find meaning in the universe. Meaning resides in your head, and so does focus. So whatever you're focusing on, it's you are the one that's focusing it. It ain't stopping you. You are stopping it. Okay. So I really hope that this transforms your life, and you really got something out of the video. And hey, pass this on and share this with other people so you can help them break out of the moles and the shells that was holding them back. And when they realize that they put meaning to life and that they can now choose the meaning that they want to put to it that empowers them, wow, we just transform each other. Okay? So if you got anything out of it, like, subscribe, and share. And I really hope that your life transforms after this. and I'll see you on the next video.